Oh, yeah. Hi, Mike.
How you doing?
I'm doing really well, thank you. I'm doing really well. I can see the
Are
sun
you
shining
warm
where
there?
you are.
Yes, we love the sunshine in Cyprus. Adorable Cyprus. I can't believe how it always shines so often here, but it does. Yeah, even yeah. Even January, December, it's shining.
Yeah, that's what
Mm,
we need. That's what we need. I love the subject today, which is looking
mm,
at healing, and that's something. Health and healing is something that very much interests me, and I think that's
right.
something which right now, a lot of people are experiencing health issues right now,
Yes.
and
Mm,
it's like an increasing amount of people are going through life crises and traumas in their life and in their physical well-being. There's a whole list of
mm,
factors: food, diet,
yeah,
medicine. There's a whole list of factors there. But
yeah.
I loved. I want to understand more about your idea about placebo and nocebo. So could you
Mm,
explain what you mean by that?
yeah. Um, I think it's a very powerful subject, by the way, Sophia. Understanding, that your consciousness affects your body. You see, when we're not well, nobody ever talks about consciousness.
Yes.
Nobody talks about how the mind affects the body.
Mm.
I've been working in the field of wellness, health and wellness now for the last 40 years. And a lot of people are not told how the mind works, how there's a mind and heart coherence, and how neurobiology works, neuroscience works, neuroplasticity works. They're not told how important it is that the dialogue we are having with ourselves
Mm.
is affecting the way we're healing or not healing. And if we have a negative sort of dialogue with ourselves, it's also causing us um, a horrendous problem. All right, we're going through a catabolic breakdown. So a placebo effect is when something is very positive, when we're having this positive dialogue with ourselves, yeah, and positive stimulus
Mm.
outside from ourselves, right? That's all positive. That's part of the placebo effect.
Yes.
Something good that's happening. But over here, if there's something negative, um, and we're having this negative dialogue about ourselves, we have negative friends, negative media about our issue, then we're going to subdue to that negativity. So subsequently, the body's going to break down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is very important in regards to healing because we're not told this.
Mm.
We're just given a set of pills and go and crack on with your day. And
Okay.
we need to know that there's a lot more to the body than meets the eye.
Mm. So I've never really thought about it that way because we think of placebo as being that sugar pill, and I suppose in essence, what that sugar pill is saying is that people have the regular medication, people have the sugar pill, and they see who heals
Absolutely.
depending
Yeah.
on who had what. And there's a science to say that if you believe you're having this positive pill that's going to do you good, you psychologically make that change and you can heal just by thinking that you've got something that's going to help you. So I can see,
Absolutely.
and so I suppose I've never really considered the other part. Whereas in essence, what you're saying is that if somebody gives you a negative pill, so this could be something like saying you've got these signs and symptoms because you're getting old. That could be a
Yeah.
negative pill in essence because you're thinking, well, I'm meant to
Yeah.
be sick because I'm getting older. Well, somebody's told you
Absolutely.
that pill in essence, and there's no reality in that. But that's what we've been learnt and we're taught. And I suppose that's the nocebo where we're getting those little hints all the time. Oh, you're getting older, you're going to have high blood pressure. Black people have high blood pressure, or something like that. That could be a nocebo in essence.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah. So
I really thought about.
this this understanding that the placebo, when we take something, is going to make us better.
Yes.
You know, our whole the 50 million 50 billion cells we have in the body, they will react to that placebo. Right? You know, that we start to react by what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and then we start releasing different hormones and different enzymes are kicking in once we start thinking a certain way. So just to think, you know, if you an example, if we were to get a lemon, yeah, we got a lemon, and we ask this person to bite into this lemon, and the person bites into the lemon. And so, oh wow, it's bitter, kind of bitter, yeah, yeah. Now, let's just say we took the lemon away from the person and just got the person to imagine biting into that lemon, and then bite into lemon, and still they'll start releasing the same sort of chemistry as if they were. So with that would be like a placebo effect. You know?
Yes.
And that's, you know, when I heard about that lemon experiment, I thought, wow, without the lemon, the placebo still carries on. Yes. Now remember, there's a negative aspect to it. So if we say we've got this negative dialogue about something that's not going to work for us, then that's what's going to happen. Again, the opposite will happen.
So you're talking about, it's really the power of imagination, because even if, as you said, we can think about what does a lemon taste like, imagine biting, just imagine biting into a lemon, and you're going to start salivating. Just the thought of it, and you know, oh, that's sour. Do you know what I mean? So your body's to prepare yourself, and you got images of babies having lemons and squeezing their faces because it's so sour, and all those things are triggering, even though the lemon, as you said, the lemon's not there. So it's the power of our thoughts, the power of our imagination, the power of our feelings, and how that can have an effect on our physical well-being, is in essence is what you're
absolutely. Well, what I like to do, I always like to bring evidence to the table. Whatever I do, when I'm doing my mentorship and coaching, I always like to bring evidence. And if the viewers want to jot this down, they can listen to a doctor talking about this. This is called Mind Over Matter by Lisa Rankin. And she talks about all these people going around getting these various pills, natural health, and trying to get themselves better, you know. And lo and behold, they just weren't getting better, because when this wonderful aspect of our being, our mind, our consciousness, is not, you know, working on that placebo effect, you can take the best medicine in the world and not get better, because you've got this negative dialogue going on within yourself. So unless you start to establish and start working on building up a positive dialogue with yourself, and understanding that the placebo effect, you know, you just telling yourself you're already well. I am well. I am getting better. I'm getting stronger each and every day. You know, speaking these words into your beingness and feeling it. That's a placebo in itself. And this is more powerful. You're not told this, but when you start telling yourself how good you're feeling, how powerful you're feeling, you are once again having a cascade of chemicals and hormones being released in your body.
So it's like a self-hypnosis in essence, really. You're drumming that in, and I remember there was, I don't know where I remember it from, but I remember that there was somebody who had a scan, and on that scan it showed that they had what they perceived was a tumor of growth. The doctor said, you've got X amount of time to live, and then they, lo and behold, after that time, 6 weeks to live, that person died. I don't know what time it was, but after that time, that person died. And then when they looked back in the past, they saw that they actually had that scarring on that tissue when they were very, very young. It wasn't something that was new, but it just like how medics have to be very careful what they say, because they embody that level of trust and that level of authority, that when medics say something, people believe it. And if they say you've got 6 weeks to leave, then you've told yourself you've got 6 weeks to leave, and you might make a self-fulfilling prophecy in essence because of that
Absolutely.
authority.
I heard that same story. I heard a similar story. A person who had a chronic ailment and being sort of jovial all the way through. And a medical staff went by and read his board and said, "Wow," discussing with the other nurse about, "Wow, this person don't seem to have long to live." And he heard that, and lo and behold, he went down. His health started to diminish.
Yeah.
So know the difference between, and that is in medicine. This is in medicine. You can put in placebo and you can put in nocebo in the medical journal and read about this. This is not no pie in the sky stuff we're talking about here. This is very real. And people, if you've got some chronic illness, this is powerful for you to know, because when you start understanding and appreciating the power of empowering yourself through visualization, through your imagination, through your positive self-talk, and through knowing the notion placebo does have a positive effect on healing in your body as opposed to the nocebo. And you need more of the placebo than the nocebo.
Yes. So it's more about knowing how powerful your mind, your thoughts, your feelings. And I suppose, you've said before that, thoughts and feelings become things. And I suppose in essence, those thoughts and feelings can be your good health or your poor health.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. We got to remember that we are electromagnetic beings. Yeah. And our thoughts are very powerful. And that whatever we put in there will have an imprint. Imprint where? On the subconscious mind. So whatever, remember, it goes so deep, it doesn't just go just to your mind, it goes on a subconscious level. 95% of your life is run by your subconscious. So if you're running on that subconscious level, running that blueprint of the nocebo, how, am I going to get better? Or things are very hard and you're struggling, and then you're taking, things that are not conducive for you, then you're going to have this compounding effect and a sort of breakdown, catabolic breakdown on your body. And then you can release cortisol in the body, and also your body turns into what we call acidosis. So it's like you're just bringing yourself down.
So you're kind of poisoning your own body by your thoughts.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yes, I call it stinking thinking. You've got stinking thinking going on. So unless we start to address that, how we can get better. But Mike, I'm taking this, I'm taking that remedy, I'm taking that to get well, and yet you've got stinking thinking. And we got to, start to lose that and start to realize I need more placebo here, positive placebo that will help me to elevate my body on another level. Beautiful.
See, what came to mind as well was the aspect of the water studies and the crystallization, and that thoughts, how
Dr. Emoto's work. Dr. Emoto's,
and how those thoughts, and if we're mainly water and we're giving those thoughts, those negative thoughts, then it's understandable that our body will be out of alignment as well. In the same way that those snowflakes were out of alignment when they were giving those negative thoughts. Maybe we're getting out of alignment by having those negative thoughts. And in the reverse, how the water became to stabilize and to become balanced and beautiful when we had those positive thoughts. And so maybe, if we're doing that internally, you're meant to pray over your water, pray over your food, have that positive, give that positive gratitude towards those things. Maybe we need to do that internally as well, because that can have an effect on our health.
Yes, and this is ancient knowledge we're talking here, ancient knowledge, and yet we think we're modern, and yet this is the most modern thing we can do. Is get in touch with ourselves and know how the body works, because we work on energy, vibration, and frequencies, and our thoughts are all of that. And this placebo effect is powerful for us to do many things. It's helping us not just heal, help us to start to align chakras, helping us to balance our whole homeostasis. So there's more equilibrium within ourselves. Our thoughts are more, there's more clarity with what we're doing with our life, you know. So yes, I love the work by Dr. Noto and the water experiment and various other experiments which are done with plants as well. The
Yeah.
IKEA experiment I like as well, which was done when they were sending positive thoughts into the plant. You know, this positive placebo of feeling good, and the plants were growing, and the other plants were doing negative placebo and giving it that feeling of,
Yes.
you know, not very well. And you see the outcome of both plants, the IKEA experiment. So we got this in the science, this is. And anybody who's not well at this present moment, right now, you need to just say to yourself, I need to understand this knowledge, because the good news is it doesn't cost anything. It just it just requires discernment. It requires one to sit down and just do some basic research. How does the human body work? And what's this thing about the placebo and nocebo? And if my mind is a pharmacy, why don't I use the placebo effect to get this pharmacy working for me? And
Yeah.
that will be such a wonderful way. I wish I had this knowledge over 20 odd years ago, but now it's here, it's readily available for anyone. I mean, we can stimulate different aspects of our being by understanding this placebo and nocebo effect.
I think I always think that, you know, we within our bodies we have all that we need to heal. We just need to give our bodies what that is, and that can be that positive psychological input. It can be, you know, removing ourselves from negativity, which includes negative foods, for example. Do you know what I mean? So I think that our bodies, that's what we're our status is to be healthy. That's the norm.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to hang on to that as being the norm, as opposed to the norm being you, but no, when you're in your last 20 years of life, you're meant to be rattling with pills. That is not the norm. That's a creative norm of the medical and pharmaceutical industry, where it's designed on illness as opposed to being designed on health. And maybe we need to make that switch and say, not what do I need to do to stop getting sick, but what do I need to do in order to be healthy? Could be just ask a different question. Could be a totally different, you know. Time for a quick break.
If at the end of a hard and stressful day, you are searching for a quick and easy way to relieve tension, stress and anxiety, Morgan Genus Magnesium range could be the answer for you. Find out more about our mineral of relaxation. Relieve your tension, replenish, restore and rejuvenate with Morgan Genus Magnesium range, available at morgangenus.com.
Now let's get back to the show.
So we say 85% of people in the Western society are on some sort of medication. And if that's the case, then it shows that we're going down the wrong road. If we're going down the wrong road, then it means we need to start readdressing this whole paradigm of how this life really works. And if we want to understand how the body works, we need to shift our whole consciousness, understand that we're electromagnetic beings, understand how placebo works and how the different cascades of chemicals are released in our body once we start addressing our consciousness. Consciousness in combined with taking the right food, supplements, remedies, cleanses will work in tandem. They work in unison. And subsequently, this is where we get healing. This is where we get radical remission. That's one of my favorite books, Radical Remission by Kelly Turner, PhD. She tells people or shares with people how people shifted their whole placebo, the whole consciousness, and miracles started to happen. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing when you think about it, and I think it's something, as you said, it's something that's been lost. You know, I think people did think about that positive thinking, that positive energy, the expectation of being well, and I think that we're being surrounded with that expectation of being unwell. So I definitely needs to have that change. And I suppose it's also about what what are we exposing ourselves to in order to release some of those hormones and those energies. So if you're exposing yourself, continually exposing yourself to stresses, then eventually that's going to be the state of your body, is going to be the norm for your body. So if you're always watching, I remember you talking before about if somebody was watching horror movies all the time, and so that means you're releasing that stress hormone. And so now your body says, well, this is my normal state, to be stressed all the time. And so when you're in a position where you're not stressed, you're meant to be relaxing, then your body's saying, oh no, something's not quite right. We're meant to be stressed, we're meant to be stressed, and now you can't relax because you've made that your norm, isn't it? So I suppose we're going to look at what we're exposing ourselves to and what are we creating as being our norm.
Absolutely. You can say what you're saying there very nicely. So if it is, environment is everything. Yeah. Environment is everything. You know, what you surround environment, remember the human energy field, what you're surrounding that field is it being imprinted and impressed onto the field. So understanding placebo, nocebo is the key here. It's the way forward. And knowing that we can elevate consciousness, we can elevate our healing aspect of our being by understanding that I've got to get positive stimulus and take positive stimulus to create the placebo, and I will feel better. And telling ourselves, you know, I am, and speak the word I am.
Yes.
I am healed. Not say in the future, but I'm not Mike, but we're talking a bit of science here. We're going to go and look a bit of science. When you start stating a certain state where you're feeling, you're creating that placebo. Please do some research on it, because this is fantastic work that's come out over the last few years. The placebo effect versus the nocebo effect is powerful. And moreover, is what the problem we have in the medical industry, in some cases, not all, some cases that we do have some of these medical professions that go around and, you know, say to patients about the nocebo, oh, you haven't got long to, well, not so much how you haven't got long to live, but good as, you know, or I'm not sure that will get better. And then you take that on board, and that's one of the negative nocebos. Then you start stewing over it and start playing it over in your mind. And once you start taking that no, what's the word? It's called heterosuggestion. That's what it is. Someone suggests something, and then you embody it, and then you start enacting it.
Reality.
Well, I'm not gonna get better, so, and that nocebo then it got hold of you, and then that then starts that slow detrimental breakdown.
I suppose this is, you know, words are very powerful, and so we've got to be careful what words we say to children, especially, or especially if you're coming from a place of authority. So people around that you're saying, it shows how powerful those words are, and so the words that we speak to other people and the words that we speak to ourselves. Now, I know, I mean, I've worked in mental health for a long time, and I know that sometimes you can meet people who there's a power that they can be obtained by being in that sick role. And it can be hard to get people out of that sick role at times. And I don't think it's just in mental health. I know lots of people who have physical ailments, and although you might say, have you considered A, B, and C, or, you know, and they're quite adamant that nothing can help them. And sometimes I feel that they can be quite comfortable being in that sick role.
Funny you should say that. Yeah. I remember me and my very open heart, liking to help people. I had a lovely experience in the shop one day with somebody with a heavy psoriasis, all over his skin, very reddened the whole skin. And I made my way around the shop to say, well, look, I'm going to help this guy because I have a little understanding how this works, you know, why he's suffering like this. So as I approached this guy, I gestured to him and I said to him, can I have a quick word? I had a quick word with him to share with him how it works, you know, why he's suffering like this. And you know what? He didn't want to know. He didn't want to know. I thought to myself, how fascinating is that? And I bought a pen. I bought a pen to remind me. This pen with a fluff at the end. I didn't need it, but I just wanted something unusual for me to remember. So I have a pen with a fluff, if you ever see me with a pen with a, just to remind me, certain people do not want to heal. They want to stay in that negative comfort zone for some unknown reason. You know, there's just some people you just have to surrender and say, well, that's your dharma. This is where you're at. Not everybody wants to heal. And that was a big self-realization for me about that. And that's on my own experience. Not everybody wants to heal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I suppose
And that's okay.
Yeah, there is power. There's power in that sick role. Maybe for some people, if they're not getting a lot of attention or there's something lacking in their life, and then you come in that sick role, it could be like, well, if I wasn't sick, then I would be A, B, and C. But because I'm sick, it means that I can't do those things, and that can be, you know, a saving grace for them. Or if I wasn't sick, I wouldn't get enough attention. But now that I'm sick, people are gentle to me, they're kinder to me. So sometimes there can be power in that sick role, and sometimes you just have to allow people to realize that you can get the attention and you can get that power without harming yourself or harming the environment.
I think there's deep psychological thing going on, very deep. I also think there's a karmic thing as well. That's a good topic to talk about, karma. But there also is karmic things we need to know why people have this situation going on with them. And there's a deeper understanding why people are where they are. But our goal is to elevate people and let them know that in this world of ours, that there are sacred knowledge, that we need to be aware of them. And one of the sacred knowledge is understanding that the placebo and the nocebo are two forces that are working in tandem with each other. And we need to invoke more of the positive placebo and how that works within ourselves. And subsequently, healing will take on a more rapid pace if we understand that. Yeah.
So what are some of the steps that people could do? Say, for example, somebody is feeling low in themselves, depression, or they've got a physical ailment, and what kind of things can they do? How can they start that journey of changing their thoughts and feelings? What kind of things?
Good, nice question, Sophia. Many things they can do. I mean, some of the basic things I like people looking at is affirmations. Nice affirmation, healing affirmations, affirming the I am. Yeah. I get people to understand about the emotions. There's an emotion factor that goes into this, that the heart itself emits 50,000 electromagnetically is more powerful than the mind in 50,000 electromagnetic frequencies are there. Yeah. So understanding the balancing of the heart chakra, I know that they got different energy fields, and understanding the Hawaiian prayer.
I like the Hawaiian prayer. Could you repeat it for me again?
Yes, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Yes, Hawaiian prayer. I like the tapping as well, getting people to use tapping as a nice placebo for the body. That's like hitting acupuncture points and also saying affirmation at the same time. Get people into breathing, into that breathing. That's a lovely way of telling the body, everything's fine, and getting in more into an alkaline state. Yeah. Get people now also to cleanse. Cleansing the body is good. Telling the body you're going to cleanse it. And the body will start reacting. Wow, we're going to get ready to cleanse. Cleansing where? Colon, cleansing kidneys and livers and fat cells, getting to cleanse themselves. And also get into sound therapy, which is very big with me. Sound therapy, very fantastic. And also working on journaling, all of these are wonderful tools that people can use. Fasting as well, one of my favorite. Yes. So yeah, there's many ways people can come back home and actually help to address their electromagnetic frequency body. Yeah. And
Wonderful.
frequency. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Using,
That's a nice range there, and as you said, there's lots of different ones, but it's just finding one place just to start. Sometimes it can just be just starting. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Yes.
It's the first step can be the hardest step sometimes, but once you make that first step, it can progress.
Yeah. And the irony of it was that, Sophia, we've known each other for years. I never would have gone to this level of knowledge. I would have always taught with the remedies, right? Take this, take that, everything else like that. So I was putting the cart before the horse. But now I'd go from, let's start upstairs and work our way down, because as I said, if you've got sinking thinking and you're taking natural remedies, they don't correlate, they don't balance themselves out, they counteract each other. So let's balance this first and then take the remedies and watch everything works phenomenally. The body takes on an exponential healing when it starts like that.
Yes, it's all levels.
Yes. If people want to realize what I'm talking about, some of the things I'm talking about, is get that book, Radical Remission by Kelly Turner, PhD, talks about how people who have 3 months to live. If you've got 3 months to live, Sophia, and turn around and go, I'm going to do something different. And when they started to realize I'm going to change, rewire my whole psychology through placebo, working spiritually, working consciously, and then shifting their mindset, everything changed. Miracles happen. And that's what we're into. Miracles will start to happen. Diagnosis will be turned around. The serious diagnosis. Like, whoa, I had this and this happened. Because one thing I love about life, you'll understand about life, is miracles are there for anyone if they want it.
And I think it can also be a technique is to look at people who have survived and who have been given cancer and X amount of time to live, and how they change their life. So I think that we can live through examples of other people. I think that's a good way to start as well, to see what did they do to make that change. And generally they've done exactly what you said. They've made lifestyle changes, they've made thinking changes, they've got rid of their thinking. Do you know what I mean? So definitely. So if someone wants to get hold of you, Mike, how can they get hold of you?
Oh, thank you, Sophia. I've got the Wellness Academy Global, and my name is Michael Reed, for those who are not familiar with my work, and through yourself as well. I'm really grateful for that, Sophia. Yeah. There's a normal channel people get hold of me. Just love to share. Just love to share and say to those, look, there is hope and there's always answers and there's always solution if you're willing to do that research for yourself.
And I suppose they're not alone, because they can tap into, as I said, your services. There are other services, but they can tap into your services as well, and you can guide them. Absolutely. Life coaching. So definitely don't suffer in silence. We need to make a difference.
No, absolutely, yes. And just know that a diagnosis is not the conclusion. It's not the conclusion. It's just the start of your healing journey.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. An absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
You take care.
Thank you, Sophia. We'll talk soon, yeah? Namaste.
Bye-bye.
I believe one day. I believe in the future. I believe in the past. I believe what you truly desire, you can bring to pass. All you need is a focus and a story to hold, and the faith that you can achieve what's inside.